Hi everyone, I'm Brian Belansky from Angwish. Happy Thanksgiving, and I'm making this special Thanksgiving video to thank all the bands that I've been on tour with over the last 4 years. And now that's one of the best things about being on tour is getting to hear all kinds of independent underground music. Really great stuff, and I consider myself really honored and lucky to have played with all these bands. Now I'm making this video to highlight some of the bands that really went that extra mile to help me out, because being on tour the last 4 years would not have been possible were it not for all the really cool bands I met and played with. So that's what this video is all about. I'm going to go through and show some highlights of a lot of bands that were super nice to me that I really appreciate. It's Thanksgiving. We're all supposed to give thanks for everything that we have, and I'm very thankful to all the really cool bands that I played with. So here we go. Without further ado, I'm going to start talking about some bands I like. Here we go. Alright, Voxcaster. My friend Eric, he actually was at the very first long tour. Oh, it was long for us back then. It was a week, and it played in Cleveland at the Blind Lemon, which was owned by Kalen Stipe, Michael Stipe's brother. Voxcaster is what's known as consensual noise pop. Eric from Voxcaster, they've gone through several different lineups, and Eric's also played in a band called the Dreadful Yawns. These guys are great. Their songs are meticulously crafted, and it's a great time. And, spent many a night partying with Eric. They are just freaking awesome. So check them out. Next, we have Third Class from Youngstown, Ohio. Now, these guys have been around since '99, so now these guys put on a wonderful show. They helped us out, put us on a great show in Youngstown. And these guys have been at it forever, and they're still staying busy. There's something to be said from that, because it's a lot of hard work being in a band that's constantly active. So Third Class from Youngstown, Ohio. Check them out. Oh, here we go. Nick Wilkinson and the Featured Players. Boy, we played with this guy a lot, and he is so cool. Nick Wilkinson, he's fun. His songs are fun. He's a fun guy, friendly, goes out of his way to help people. And I think when you're that kind of a person, it shows through in your music, and your music kicks more ass. And your music is better as a result of having a good personality. So, and Nick Wilkinson is a prime example of this. He's helped us out several times in Akron. He plays with different lineups, which I can identify with. That's why he's called Nick Wilkinson and the Featured Players. It's pretty clever. But you need to check him out. He's great. He's awesome. He does a lot of touring up there in the Midwest too. Nick Wilkinson and the Featured Players from Akron, Ohio. Check him out. Next, we've got Silent Mind. Jamie Bright from Burlington, Vermont. Now, Jamie Bright's awesome. Silent Mind is his group. We played with him solo in Boston and in Burlington, and his songs are great. He's a wonderful guitarist. I compare him to Bob Dylan. That made him mad, of course, but I think his lyrics are great. And another cool thing about Jamie is he just comes up with songs about people on the spot, ad-libbing. It's great. Wonderful. Silent Mind from Burlington, Vermont. Check them out. Alright, next we've got another solo artist. His name's David Nill from Detroit, Michigan. And David's a really great performer too. His songs were awesome. He's a really super nice guy. Helped us out a lot. Played a couple shows with him in Detroit, actually. Great acoustic rock. Check him out. David Nill from Detroit, Michigan. Alright. And next, we've got Three Hives, a friend of David Nill's. These guys are awesome. Amazing to watch live. They're just great. And they helped us out a lot in Detroit. Them, David Nill, and Recreational Suicide. pop punk at its best. A lot of energy, really nice guy. Chris from Recreational Suicide, he helped us out too with a few shows in Detroit. So, you know, that's great when one lineup, you like everybody. David Nill, Three Hives, and Recreational Suicide. Because, you know, that's what it's all about. Musicians need to help each other, you know. It's not all about yourself all the time. And bands that are like that, they tend to just, you know, fizzle out. So, you know, I think, you know, the independent music community is great because people help each other. So, I mean, let's just, all bands everywhere continue to do that and, you know, make independent music just more out there for more people that might be listening to the brainwashing corporate stuff, for them to come on over to the good side, the independent side. So, you know, that's what this is all about, bands helping each other. Next, we've got Josh Harold and Bobby Brown, who played in a band called Sunglasses. They're no longer playing, which is a shame because I thought they were really cool. Josh is now in a band called the Bloody Irish Boys. Great performers and just wonderful guys. Josh helped me out with a couple shows, and he even played drums for me when drummer unexpectedly quit in the middle of a tour. So, man, it was a great pleasure to play with Josh on stage and to play with his band Sunglass, and I hope to perhaps play with the Bloody Irish Boys next time I'm in Columbus, Ohio. Marvin the Robot and my friend Miles here, played with him at the old Sunglass show with Josh and Bobby in Sunglass. Man, Marvin the Robot, they are fun. Miles is great, you know, they're laid back guys, and their music is somehow energetic and laid back at the same time. They're really cool. They had some tongue-in-cheek stuff. Really fun. Really good time. Really good to watch. Marvin the Robot from Columbus, Ohio. Check them out. Next, I love this picture too. Two Houses from Chicago, Illinois. These guys, amazing stage show. And I think these guys are great. The thing that stands out about my memory with this is that the guy that I was talking to, Mike, a really cool guy, asked if he could play first because he needed to get really drunk. So I was like, oh, that's pretty rock and roll. You have to play first so you can get drunk. Yeah, okay, cool. That's some rock and roll right there. So, you know what? Two Houses from Chicago, Illinois. Check them out. Next, we got Shane John's project. Acoustic rock, wonderful songwriter, super cool guy. Let us stay at his house. That always helps. That's such a big help when bands can give a touring band like a place to stay, because accommodations can be the biggest hole in your wallet when you're on tour. But thanks to cool people like Two Houses, Shane John's project, you know. Shane John's project. When we played with him, it was Pekin, Illinois. I think he's now in Florida. So check him out. Great acoustic rock singer-songwriter, Shane John's project. All right. Next, not sure if these guys are still playing, but Trigg County from Des Moines, Iowa. Even if they're not around anymore, still active, listen to these songs because they rocked. They really rocked. I really enjoyed their set, and they're great guys. Really, really fun to talk to. It's always nice because, you know, when you're on the road, it can get stressful and nerve-wracking, and just to meet some very friendly people and positive people who play some really great rock and roll, that's what makes it all worthwhile. All right, Trigg County from Des Moines, Iowa. All right, next from Omaha, Nebraska, we got P Flames. This guy's great, hip-hop artist. He actually played with a group when we played with him on a Monday night in Omaha, and it was great. It reminded me of the Black Eyed Peas a bit. Hope P Flames, you don't mind that comparison if you're watching. But man, they put on a great show. Really fun to watch. You know, definitely no boredom whatsoever at that show. Great times. P Flames from Omaha, Nebraska. Check them out. Okay, next, This one's really important. Really good friend of mine. Pin Doll from the Barbed Wire Dolls. Now, I've known this guy since the 90s too. Pin used to have a record label out of Charleston, South Carolina, Street Records, which the first two Angwish albums, Prototype and 485, appeared on. Then, Pin moved back to Greece. I didn't hear from him for years. Then, planning our very first Angwish European tour in 2008, he invited us to the Icarus Artist Commune because they have a big rock and roll festival. The Barbed Wire Dolls are blowing up. They're great. Punk rock at its finest. Pin, Isis, and Crash. Super fun people. I've played with them in New Mexico. I've played with them in Greece. You know what? They're great. I've seen them in Charlotte. I've seen them in Columbus, Ohio. Keep an eye on these guys. They're doing some big stuff. And Pin Doll is one of the nicest and most helpful people. He really looks out for artists and people that are trying to make music a career. He's really a classy guy and a classy band. Check them out. Barbed Wire Dolls from Crete, Greece. Avdu in Crete. All right, next, another one of my favorite people, Bella Pincini. She is awesome, the triple threat. Songwriter, actress, and producer. Bella and I met at the Angwish 2006 Halloween party in Charlotte, North Carolina at the old Double Door. And, from 2006, we kept in contact with each other. In 2012, when I finally decided to, make touring my full-time thing, I finally made it out to Los Angeles where Bella lives. She helped us get a bunch of Hollywood and Los Angeles gigs, let us stay in her posh apartment. She's wonderful. There's not many people that have done more to help me with my tours, and Bella, thank you so much. And, check her stuff out. She's a songwriter. She's an actress. She does great stuff. She's a wonderful person. Now, she's actually in London doing stuff over there. So I got to hang out with her, and she helped me get shows in London. She's just a classy chick, and she's awesome. Check her out, Bella Pincini. All right, next we have District Verdant. Now, these guys had a residency at the Old Town Pub, Pasadena, California, and this is super cool. Every week they invited different touring bands to play on their residency, and that's super cool. And it's a prime example of, the motto of just bands helping each other. It's really cool. I'm trying to put together something like that in Charlotte now, actually, now that I'm going to be here for a little bit, working on the new album and the new movie. So, but yeah, a residency where they invited touring bands. That's awesome. And their music was great, too. It was a real pleasure to play with them. District Verdant from Pasadena, California. Check them out. All right. Now this guy's cool. His name's Banjo Dan. He plays the banjo. I met him in Atascadero at the Last Stage West. Atascadero, California. At the Last Stage West. Great venue. Once again, gonna do a venue video where I thank all the venues too. But man, Banjo Dan, he plays that banjo very well. I had the pleasure of him sitting in on one of my solo tours there, the solo tour in 2014. He accompanied me on banjo, actually a couple times. Man, I love his slogan too. Wow, banjos rock. Well, when Banjo Dan plays the banjo, it definitely does rock. This guy's cool. He tours around the country in his RV. Wonderful guy. Super cool, super laid back. And he taught me something really cool, that you can register your concerts with your performing rights organization to get performance royalties, which I didn't know. So, man, thanks Banjo Dan for cueing me into this new revenue source. It's pretty awesome. Okay, next we've got Merc from Bend, Oregon. These guys were really cool. Man, metal, really in your face, just high energy. I loved it. You know what? Super cool guys. We went and crashed at their house, partied all night. It was great because, you know what? This was like after 3 months about into the very first tour, so I was starting to feel the pressure of what it's like to live on the road. And man, these guys helped us blow off some steam. It was really great. Merc. Not sure if they're still doing stuff, but still check out their music, even if, it's a shame when bands break up, but hopefully people go on to other. Merc from Bend, Oregon. Check them out. All right, next we've got Richard Strader from Columbia, South Carolina. This guy's awesome. He's in his early 20s and he's toured a bunch. It reminds me of me when I was that young, but wow. For his age, man, or for anybody's age, he has done some impressive touring. He's all over the place. He's busy. He's proactive. His songs are really great. I've had the pleasure of playing with him in Myrtle Beach and here in Charlotte, my hometown. He's great, Richard Strader. He's always playing somewhere new, so check him out. Richard Strader from Columbia, South Carolina. _Adia from Pittsburgh. We did an acoustic show together and they killed it. They're awesome. They even gave me a t-shirt. They're wonderful guys. All right, and towards the tail end of the first 2012 Rock and Roll Destroyed My Life tour, it's kind of the go back to the Thanking the Venues video, which we're going to make later. The Junkyard, run by Chelsea, really cool girl. She's a very cool young lady, and she had a really awesome house venue in Boone, North Carolina, called the Junkyard. We played with Lesser Life, Pale Fire, Vermin Thoraxis, some great bands. And all I can remember from that house party was PBR and just a bunch of kick-ass bands, a bunch of rock and roll, in-your-face house parties. The house venues are just like sometimes a lot cooler than venues because it seems like everyone's there to have a good time. And some venues and the people who run it can be pretentious sometimes. So it's a breath of fresh air to see a cool house venue, cool bands in a cool atmosphere and cool vibes. That's what it's all about. It's great. Pale Fire, Lesser Life, and Vermin Thoraxis, all from North Carolina. Check them out. All right, these guys are fun. Finer. Now, we played a bunch of shows with these guys in 2013. Finer actually, they sold their house and just decided to go on the road. But these two are great. Stacy's a wonderful lady. It was a real pleasure to play with them at a bunch of shows. She's really great. Finer's music is just really upbeat, positive, happy. You leave their shows feeling good. So that's awesome. And it's great. I'm glad it was really awesome to be a part of their first huge, long, extended tour. And a real pleasure to work with them. They were awesome. Finer from Indianapolis and Brooklyn, New York. Check them out. All right, next we got Danger Jack featuring Josh Griffin, longtime friend and longtime on-again, off-again Angwish member. And Josh has, always been there for me. Every time I had personnel issues with Angwish, he was always there to fill in. See, look at that picture. He has a good time. Danger Jack is a lot of fun. They play all around Pineville, North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, surrounding areas. You need to check them out. Danger Jack featuring Josh Griffin from right here in Charlotte, North Carolina. All right, here we go. Here's another great guy. This guy's been on tour this year. He's toured Central America. Jimmy Dharma, who also plays in the band The Dizzy Bangers. This guy's really cool. You know what? He really helped us out when we were in Austin, Texas, which is where he's from. And, he's been crisscrossing the nation. He's been going back and forth from Central America. He's also playing in a European tour. Really just great rock and roll, good songs, catchy songs, high energy, great show. And Jimmy's a great guy. Really awesome, very dedicated. Check him out. Jimmy Dharma and the Dizzy Bangers from Austin, Texas. All right, next, from Tampa, Florida, we've got Keyboard Kathy. Now, this lady is very fun and very talented. She really can play the keyboard very well, hence the name Keyboard Kathy. It's, I guess if Keyboard Kathy, if keyboard's in the stage name, if keyboard's in the name of your act, then yes, you're good at the keyboard. And her songs are really cool. They're a lot of the times her songs are about food, which is neat. My favorite song is Sashimi. It's a really good one. She puts on a great show. Very entertaining lady. I've had the pleasure to play with her several times in Tampa, Florida. Definitely check her out. Videos are great. She's actually got like tons of views on her YouTube channel. So check Keyboard Kathy out from Tampa, Florida. She's really cool. All right, next from Los Angeles, California, we've got Devil's Hoax featuring Rihanna Bader. She is one really cool punk rock chick. She helped me out, invited me onto her showcase at the Cafe Nila in Los Angeles, which I think was actually one of the best paying Los Angeles shows. Kind of hard to, there's a lot of bands in Los Angeles, so sometimes it's hard to get paid because, the whole supply, demand, if there's too much of one thing, it makes it cheaper, like bands. So it was really cool to play a venue where I actually got paid decent. Rihanna Bader was awesome. She actually played solo acoustic, but you know what? She proves that you can be a solo acoustic punk rocker and pull it off. Wonderful. She rocked out that acoustic. There was so much energy. Saw more energy playing Saw more energy with her playing the acoustic guitar by herself than I have with like some 5-piece punk rock bands. So Rihanna Bader and Devil's Hoax from Los Angeles, California. Please check her out. Really cool. All right, and on this same show, once again, I love those shows where all the bands are cool. We've got the acoustic rock duo Down West, Steve and Theo. Really cool guys. They helped us out with another show in Hollywood too. It was really great to play with them twice. And you know what? I love that cajon guitar duo. It's really great. Something that Angwish has done quite a bit too, Sometimes that setup works for us, and it definitely works for Down West. That's their thing, man. Acoustic rock, you gotta love it. And they're really cool guys. That helps. That always helps when, the music's good and the people are friendly. That's a winning combination. All right, so after playing that show with Down West and Devil's Hoax, it was off to Asia. And the one guy who really helped me out a lot in Asia was Sonny Powell. Really cool guy. Met him through our mutual friend, Matt Thrift. Sonny Powell from Bangkok, Thailand. I had the pleasure of having a good old Sonny sit in on percussion with me at the Overstay Hostel. First time I'd ever played at a hostel, so that was fun. Sonny's great, man. He's a comedian, he's a DJ, he's got a lot of charisma, and he's really tearing up the entertainment scene there in Bangkok, Thailand. We even learned, I even learned some Bollywood songs on guitar because, Sonny's from India. He's an Indian guy, although he lives in Bangkok, Thailand. So it was super fun to do a duo with Sonny, both him on percussion and me playing some Bollywood songs with him singing. And his comedy act's great too. So check out Sonny Powell. He from Bangkok, Thailand. All right, next, another personal favorite here. I mentioned the Barbed Wire Dolls previously. So right now we're talking about their old bass player JB. Really cool guy, also known as Jim Kotsis. He's in the band now called Mahakala, and they are hardcore metal. They're just, in your face, doom rock. Just, it rolls. It's heavy. It's great, and they are really at the forefront of the Athens of the music scene. Man, they're getting really popular. I'm really happy for him. JB's an awesome guy. He really went out of his way to help me in Greece. He hooked up shows. He hooked up interviews. He's working with the old Trailblazer Records, awesome record label. I had the pleasure of playing the showcase there twice. And Mahakala is really, they're tearing up the music scene. in Athens, Greece. So check them out, Mahakala. All right, next we've got Madame Butterfly and Mr. Bear from Foggia, Italy. Another of my personal favorites. I got to play with them last year on my solo tour and this year on the Unplugged Lust for Live tour in Europe. Madame Butterfly and Mr. Bear. They are a guy-girl duo, acoustic. Their songs are great. They are, their lyrics are great. Valerie and Vincenzo are wonderful people, and their voices sound great together. Their music's beautiful. Check it out. They just made a new video for their song, My Blue-Eyed Guy. One of my favorites, and the video is really great. Awesome video. Please check these guys out. They're great. I had a wonderful time with them in Italy. One of my favorite bands in Europe. Madame Butterfly and Mr. Bear. Alright, next from Germany, we've got Attack Karma, another guy-girl duo. These guys, super cool, psychedelic, kind of reminds you of Jefferson Airplane. They're wonderful, cool people. Attack Karma, my favorite song by them is called Father Planet. They're really fun. Played a couple gigs with them in Germany. It was a real pleasure to work with them. Attack Karma from Germany. Check them out. Alright, next we've got the Jungle Buds, Florian and Janik. I think they're on a short hiatus, but I hope they start playing again. It was really cool to play with them. They're from Cologne, Germany. And you know what? Florian and Janik even sat in with me on the djembes. So it was pretty cool to have two djembes going at once. I'm doing the duo thing most of the time. So really cool and kind of different to have three people on stage again. So, man, Janik and Florian from the Jungle Buds from Cologne, Germany. Check them out. Acoustic rock at its finest. Alright, next, we got the Morricones from Salzburg, Austria. Another great night, and these guys were kind enough to take me into their home. We partied all night. You know what? Got to rock out with their drummer. They put on a great set, a lot of energy, good vibes. It was a great time in Salzburg, Austria. The Morricones, check them out. Alright, so back to the United States here, and where are we? We're in summer 2014, trying to go in chronological order here. So next we got the Major Minus. These guys were amazing. My friend that I talked to, that I was corresponding with, Andreas on guitar, phenomenal. It was just really entertaining just to watch him play guitars because he's such a great guitarist. So check them out, the Major Minus. They really helped us out in San Diego. All right, next we've got Drinking Water. Now here's another band that's like always on tour. So you know what? Great respect for them, for what they do. And you know what, guys? I know how hard it is to, live on the road. So kudos to Drinking Water. And they rock. They're awesome. One of my, favorite shows I played. And we played with them in, what was it? We played with them. They were on tour. We were on tour. And you know what? Super friendly guys. Drinking Water. Check them out. They're always on tour. Great rock and roll band. Drinking Water from Las Vegas, Nevada. All right. This guy's awesome. Russ from Raquel. He's a one-man band, and you know what? He's inspired by a lot of the stuff that inspired me. He's like 70s punk rock, 80s new wave. Russ and Raquel is kind of a one-man band, and he rules. He makes it work, Once again, you can really rock as one person harder than like a 5, 6, 7-piece band if you've got some soul. And this guy definitely does, Russ. And he puts out LPs. Now that's cool. And you know what? Our show got canceled in San Francisco, so he threw a house party to compensate. Now that's cool. That's really going the extra mile, and I'm very thankful to Russ. Can't wait to get back to the West Coast and put on another show with Raquel. Raquel from San Francisco, California. Check them out. All right, next we've got Nails Hide Metal from Portland, Oregon. We played with them. They ruled. They were just great show. Wonderful people. Just, you know what? Rock and roll, alternative rock. It's great to see so many bands keeping the genre alive because, you know what? It's awesome. You know what? These people rock. Check them out. Nails Hide Metal from Portland, Oregon. Hell City Kitty from Helena, Montana. Boy, we had a great night this night. And this band, they really know how to throw down. They're super cool. Great show. Really entertaining. Hell City Kitty from Helena, Montana. Rock and roll in your face. Check it out. All right. Next, here we go. Another guy, Brian from Fuzzbeater. Awesome. These guys rule. Once again, great grunge, 90s alternative inspired. So wonderful to hear, you know, the genre still kicking and alive and kicking. And Fuzzbeater is a great representative of this genre. Their songs rule, and they are, I think, like the only band that I know that I've toured with who puts out cassettes. Yes, cassettes. That's really awesome. So, man, you know what? Check out Fuzzbeater from Warrensburg, Missouri. Fuzzbeater from Warrensburg, Missouri. Oh, another thing I love about these guys, their bass player drinks a bottle of whiskey every show, like through the course of the show. Now, that's pretty rock and roll, but I also hope he drinks some water too, so he doesn't have a bad hangover. All right, from St. Louis, Missouri, we've got the Ruthless. Wow, these guys were fun. They were really great. A guy-girl band. Awesome. They were really high energy, in your face, super cool people. Great. It's always great to play with a band whose personalities are great and their music's great. Awesome set in St. Louis. Awesome show. The Ruthless. Check them out. St. Louis, Missouri. All right, also from St. Louis, Missouri, who we played with the same night, we got my friend Nick from Freedom and Forgiven. He is another one-man band kind of guy, and boy, he does it right. He's got all kinds of stuff going on with his one-man stuff. His music's really wonderful, and he's a really cool guy. Check him out, Freedom and Forgiven from St. Louis, Missouri. He blends flamenco and electronic music. Now, that's pretty unique and it's really awesome. You gotta hear it. It's wonderful. Check him out. All right, from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, we got Hayden Skaggs, singer-songwriter, wonderful guy. He wrote great songs, had great lyrics. He's also serves in the military, so a lot of respect to you, Hayden, because of your music, and thanks for serving the country too. We really appreciate it. Hayden, I hope we, when you're on leave, let's do another show together. Awesome time in Milwaukee with Hayden. All right, this particular run in Milwaukee, we had a really good time. Also, System Lights. We played with them at another show in Milwaukee, and boy, these guys are great. Really class act. Their rock and roll is awesome. We had a great time listening to their album, on tour, driving from city to city. And the System Lights from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. All right, and here we go. The final cool Milwaukee band that we play with, Tomcat Joe. This guy's blues rock is great. It's and you know what? It's the real deal. And Tomcat Joe, he tours all over the place. You know, he makes his rounds. He's really all over the place, and you gotta give it up to him for that. So hats off to Tomcat Joe, man. His bands, Tomcat Joe is just all over the place. Blues rock rules. Yeah, phenomenal guitarist. He's wonderful. Really cool guy. Tomcat Joe from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He's probably playing in a town near you pretty soon because the guy tours all the time. All right, next we got the Red Light Saints. These guys are cool. Hey, they gave me a shirt. Really nice guys. Red Light Saints. They're from Green Bay, Wisconsin. We played with them in Indianapolis, Indiana. These guys are great. They're they're moving on up there. They are definitely making some progress. They're getting popular, you know. They've got sponsorships. Their music's wonderful, and their lead singer has actually even overcome drug addiction and alcoholism to be a part of a successful touring band, which I think is a wonderful story. And you know what? Hats off to him for that. And man, he's a great guy, great band. As a matter of fact, it was a Monday night, not the biggest crowd. They even let us keep all the money because I guess they had some backing from their label. So, man, that's just cool. You know what? Thank you very much, Red Light Saints. You guys are cool. And I hope I get to play with you again. Hit me up if you're ever down in Charlotte. Red Light Saints from Green Bay, Wisconsin. All right, same bill from this show. Another one of those shows where every band was cool. You got Cost of Attrition. Now, these guys, wow, really cool. It's kind of like metal meets boy band meets electronic. They ruled, and they even did dancing to go along, you know. It was like, oh man, kind of like, what was that, Milli Vanilli? Like, I'm not saying it in an insulting way. It was cool. I mean, because when you see death metal and dudes dancing, it was cool. It was really entertaining, and they were really cool and really nice guys. And once again, that was a show in Indianapolis on a Monday night, sparsely attended show, and they didn't take a cut of the money because we were on tour. That's really classy. It's just a real classy thing to do. And their music's great, and it's unique. Cost of Attrition from Indianapolis, Indiana. Check them out. All right. And the final band from that cool Indianapolis show last year in 2014 in the summer. Rumsprung Regrets. Oh yeah, they're just punk rock, in your face, just classic punk. You know, they kick ass. Their songs were great. And just look at that, an Atari shirt. You know you're a cool band if you're wearing an Atari shirt in your band picture. Rumsprung Regrets. A lot of energy and really cool guys. Really fun, really nice. That was a great show. All right, next here we've got Boy Chief, which they actually changed their name to Downer, but I wasn't able to find any website for Downer, so I just went to this. They rocked. Philadelphia was great. Another time, a drummer left right before the tour was over, so I finished the last week's solo, so it's kind of down in the dumps. And Lauren and Boy Chief / Downer, wow. We had a great time. You know what? She invited me back to her house for the after party. It was a great night. Grunge, alternative rock. She's awesome. She's a great front person. Boy Chief / Downer. I think they're going by Downer now. Sorry. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Boy Chief / Downer. Check them out. All right. And also from that night, another band, really cool, a lot of energy, the 1-2s. They were super cool, and you know what? They put on an awesome show. They actually bought a lot of my merchandise, which I really appreciate that, you know, because when you're on the road, it gets rough sometimes, you know. So yeah, some shows you play are great, and they're well attended. Some shows you play are pretty, the pay can be meager sometimes, to be honest. So when a band goes out of the way to buy your merchandise and a lot of it, that's really classy. We really appreciate it. So once again, another great example of a band whose music is great and they're great people. The 1-2s from Philadelphia, PA. Check them out. All right. So looks like we're at winter time in 2014 now, going in chronological order. This is still the Dark Circles tour. 9-month tour for Dark Circles there. We've got Blue Coraline from Las Vegas, Nevada. And this guy does bands sometimes, and sometimes he does solo. Quinlan, awesome guy. He actually played solo with us this night, and his solo stuff was great. His band stuff's great too, and he was a really cool guy. And this was another show where it was like cool lineup, everybody's cool, everybody's nice, everyone's getting along. Yeah, I love that. It's perfect. Blue Coraline from Las Vegas, Nevada. Check them out. All right, here we go. Now these guys are really special. A two-piece, the brother and sister. Anna had a circus. She juggles, he plays sitar. They got electronic stuff going on. There's some juggling. Wow, they are great. It's like music slash performance art. I think they did the Burning Man festival. These guys are doing big things and they're really cool. Their manager, real sweetheart too. She's awesome. You know what? Anna had a circus. They are great. I think they're from Las Vegas, Nevada. They're nomadic. They're on tour all the time too. And they live out of their RV. So you know what? You gotta respect them. So check their website out. Buy something from them. And you know what? Check all these bands out. And you know what? If you like their music, buy something from them because you know what? It's hard to being an independent musician is not easy, and we really depend on fans to buy stuff so that we can like buy drumsticks, buy gas, stuff breaks, you need to buy it. So, $10 for a shirt or a CD, it means a lot. So, you know what? Check out all these bands. And, thank you bands and thank you music fans for supporting these bands. It means a lot to us. And it's like, it's all for one and one for all, It's like, the music scene doesn't win unless we all win. So, all right. Next we got Frank and the Alter Egos. And he's from right here in Charlotte, North Carolina. One-man band. He cranks it. It's rock and roll. It's great rock and roll. Done with all by himself. He's got a drum machine. It's loud. It's driving. It's in your face. That's the stuff I like. Frank and the Alter Egos from Charlotte, North Carolina. Check him out. All right, from Orlando, Florida, we've got Boy Electric, another great, fun, high-energy rock and roll band. Everyone in the band is really cool. Supposed to be collaborating with them, playing guitar on a Boy Electric song. So that's really fun. Can't wait to go back down to Orlando, Florida and hang out with those guys again. And they got some really cool artwork via Shawnee there in the band. He does all this really neat artwork for their posters. Very impressive. Boy Electric from Orlando. Check them out. Another longtime Angwish favorite, the Olivia de Havilland Mosquitoes. Eric and Maria, really great friends of mine. Every time we get together for shows or to hang out, party, we always have a great time. These two are really great, and they really get what rock and roll is all about. They've been compared to the Talking Heads, which I think is a great compliment. They used to live here in Charlotte. Now they're also known as Illa Citizen. That's the electric version of the band, and Olivia de Havilland Mosquitoes is the acoustic version of the band. They're great. They really stand out. They're independent rock, everything it should be. So check it out, Illa Citizen and Olivia de Havilland Mosquitoes. Okay, next on the list from San Marcos, Texas, which is a little south of Austin, for those of you who don't know, we've got Voodoo Boogaloo. A prestigious publication said that they were the Sonny and Cher of trip hop. They're great. Trip hop, psychedelic. Logan and Stephanie, they're awesome. They're in love, and you can really tell it's great. Sounds great in their music. One of my favorite songs of theirs is Extraordinary Lovers. Really great band or duo. Trip Hop, Voodoo Boogaloo from San Marcos, Texas. Check them out. All right, next, Little Rock, Arkansas. That was another really great show there at Vino's. That place will definitely get mentioned on the cool venue video that I'm going to make next. So, man, Systems Avenue. These guys, these youngsters, wow. Tons of energy, pop punk, lot of fun, a lot of cool covers they played. Really cool, high energy. You always love that stuff. And really cool guys. Then we got my brother, my friend, also from St. Louis, Missouri. Josh, really super cool guy. I think he was the first person to take advantage of the free stuffed animal that we give away with every CD purchase. So he got one for his girlfriend. That was really sweet. Josh played solo this night in Little Rock, Arkansas, and he sounded great. Great voice, great lyrics, great guitar player. My brother, my friend from Little Rock, Arkansas. Check him out. All right, next, this was a real special show. Actually, it was 2 shows I got to play with them at the old All and All Green. That's a wonderful place, and the people that put on those shows are really wonderful people. They're going to be in the venue video that I'm going to make too, the thank you venue video. So, Mother Coat from Japan. Wow. Now, these guys were so cool, so awesome. It was a real pleasure. I mean, it takes a lot of courage to travel the world and play your music. People don't realize how much courage it takes. And so, you know what? I know how it feels to be in a strange country, and Mother Coat, they blew me away. They were phenomenal. They were awesome. Really cool. Mother Coat from Japan. Check them out. All right. Next, here's another guy who's been around since the Street Records days back in Charleston, South Carolina. The Farm Upstate, and my good friend Eric Barfield. Not the Eric from Voxcaster. Another cool. So I just keep meeting cool people named Eric. Anyway, Eric used to come to our Streets Records shows in Charleston, South Carolina back in the late 90s when we were first signed to Pin Doll from the Barbed Wire Dolls label. See how that works? Like everybody meets each other. You know, networking is so fun. But anyway, the Farm Upstate, just good old classic 90s alternative rock and roll grunge. You know what? I love it. It just, you know, it sets my soul at ease to hear that kind of alternative rock. Great. And Eric's a wonderful guy. Helped me out a lot. The Farm Upstate from Charleston, South Carolina. All right. Next, we have some really cool guys. Gov Club, Adam, Austin, and Grant. They are some really cool guys. I had the pleasure of getting to accompany them on part of their very first tour. Gov Club, they're from Jacksonville, Florida, and wow, they are great musicians. Their songs are just like, their songs really, their songs are intricately written and powerful. They're great, man. I was really, really honored to accompany them on part of their first tour, and they really helped me out in Jacksonville several times, and it was really fun partying with them. Gov Club from Jacksonville, Florida. Please check them out. All right, here's another really good one. See, the Southeast is like really coming alive with a lot of independent music. Here we have Valor, Elena Valor. Hip-hop / spoken word. This young lady's really cool. She started, doing her rhymes on the street, and now she's playing big shows. She's involved with the Savannah label, Dope Sandwich. I met her at the Bomb Shelter, which is a very, very cool house venue. And I actually had the pleasure of going on a Southeast tour with Valor, and it was her first tour for her debut album, Year of the Cactus. So that was really cool. It was really awesome. Her lyrics are great, and her songs are great. Please check her out. Valor from Savannah, Georgia. We're jumping ahead from the Fearless Corporate Rock Killers tour, which is over to the Lust for Live tour. Now, the Lust for Live tour is exclusively European, and most of the bands I played with, I also played with last time. There is one band I didn't get to mention, Crash Second. Now, this band, super cool. Stella and Johan. Really great. They've since gone their separate ways. Now, Crash Second is kind of on hiatus. And Stella's gone on to be in a really cool band called Stella and the Meds. They're so cool and so punk rock, they don't even have a Facebook site or a website or anything. But Stella and Gilbert and Stella and the Meds, great band, awesome. A lot of the songs they play are also Crash Second songs,
which is why I included their website on there. And Johan's really awesome too. I actually met these guys in Chicago when they were on tour over here. So it was a real pleasure to meet them again in their hometown of Vienna, Austria. So, wonderful band. As soon as Stella and the Meds get some stuff online, check them out. I was really honored too because I described them as if Jucifer, Caroline and the Treats, and the Breeders had a threesome and offspring was produced but nobody knew who the father was, that's what Stella and the Meds sound like. And they started including that in their email list. So I was really honored to have been quoted to describing their band. That's really cool. So thank you, Stella, and thank you, Johan. Crash second, and Stella and the Meds. All right, next up we got Noise from Charleston, West Virginia. Now these guys are super cool. Hooked us up with a great show at the good old world famous Empty Glass in Charleston on the Angwish and Velour Southeast tour. Man, we had a great time. They were a two-piece. I believe now they're a three-piece. They just had a big radio appearance up there on college radio in West Virginia. They're awesome. They take it back to the old school grunge, rock and roll. Really great guys. Noise. It was a real pleasure to play with them, and I can't wait to play with them again. Now, here we go. Another one of those nights where all the bands were cool. And this was kind of an interesting one. I didn't actually play with the band, but they're called Miniature Giant. Another good in-your-face hard rock band. And their drummer, KC, actually filled in for me on what I didn't know at the time, but it became the live album, Lust for Live. So KC, the drummer from Miniature Giant, actually is the drummer on the live album. And KC, thank you so much. Miniature Giant and Angwish are going to be playing together really soon, and I cannot wait because it was a real pleasure to perform with KC, having him fill in as my drummer, and I can't wait to see his band Miniature Giant live. So, Miniature Giant from Charleston, West Virginia, and Noise from Charleston, West Virginia. Check both of them out. Thank you. I'm going to be making more videos like this where I try to spotlight independent music all over the world that's great and that needs to be discovered by, I think, everybody. You know, because you got to remember what you hear corporate radio and on TV that's, you know, sometimes it seems like they got an agenda that they're trying to push. And I'm not just talking about selling records or albums or CDs or downloads. So, you know what? Keep it independent. Check out these great artists. I am just overwhelmed that I've been able to play with so many wonderful artists, performers, musicians. It's been a crazy 4 years, and I want to thank everyone. So I've saved maybe one of the best for last. These guys are great. Brian and Kyle Weber from Zellazoa from New York City. Now, these are the guys who first inspired me to give up my life, you know, quit my job, give up my apartment, put everything into boxes and put it into storage, get in my van, live in the van sometimes when, you know, the shows weren't paying what I needed them to. You know what? Eating crackers, living off of pretzels and beef jerky because you can't afford anything else. These are the guys that inspired me to do it. Zellazoa. They're great indie rock, and they're great guys. They invented this really cool website called Indie on the Move, which is the best resource for doing DIY booking. Please check out the website Indie on the Move if you're in a band that's interested in touring. They make it so easy. It just, you know, and for a band to sit there and go through all the time and effort, I can't think of how many countless hours it took these guys to put together this website. And they were even kind enough to feature Angwish on the website before. I've even worked with them, and they helped me book some of my tours. They're wonderful guys. Their band's wonderful, and they're who inspired me to, you know, quit my job and give up my apartment and live as a nomadic touring artist for the last 4 years with Angwish. And thank you, bands, and thank you, music fans, for supporting these bands. It you know, means a lot to us, and it's like, it's all for one and one for all, you know. It's like,
The music scene doesn't win unless we all win. So, got a lot of stuff going on in 2016 regionally, Central American tour, movie, double album. Stay tuned. Thank you. Okay, next year, you know what? I gotta go to the bathroom. Hold on a second. I'm very thankful for. Fuck. Otherwise known as. Fuck. World Thanksgiving is a American holiday where we are. Fuck. For a show or. God damn it. Next! Son of a bitch. God. What is that? Where the fuck was that?